What's up, everyone? I'm Grant Cohn. That's Coach Noah Johnston joining me live from New Jersey, where it's 6 o'clock on a Friday. I don't know if he's dressed up for the show or he's going out on a date. Either way, I appreciate the time.
I'm home tonight, but it's a nice 75 degrees out today, surprisingly. So,
yeah. Well, we usually talk on this day. We were gonna go through first-round cornerbacks. Yeah. Now that seems like a quaint idea from a long-lost age. Now we're looking at quarterbacks and maybe what the Niners will do in round 2 and round 3. So what I want to ask you is not necessarily what you think the Niners will do. We could talk about that. But in your opinion, in your expert opinion, who do you think they should take with the number 3 pick now that that's what they own?
Well, I'm a big Zach Wilson guy, but I don't think he's going to be there. I think Lawrence and I think Lawrence and Wilson are going to go 1 and 2. After that, I mean, for me, it's tough because I don't like Fields either, and
me neither.
So, and I think for me, it's is Mac Jones really having this meteoric rise where you have to go and move up to 3 to get Mac Jones?
The way I read it is whoever the Niners want, they felt the Falcons might have taken it number 4. Don't you think?
It seems that way, but why would the whole thing with that is if I thought the Falcons were going to take a quarterback, why did they redo that whole contract with Matt Ryan? I mean,
or maybe word was that the Dolphins were shopping that pick, and if the Niners didn't go up and get it, someone else would go up and get that pick.
It's possible. I personally don't like the move unless it's to get Wilson. If they do take Fields or Mac Jones, I think it's too high for Jones. I'm not a big fan of Fields, but if they take either and it works out, would have more power to him. I hope it does. The only thing I will say about this is that I think how you have to look at it is can this quarterback play equal to Jimmy Garoppolo? And I think a bunch of them can, because I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is that spectacular. Even in his 2019, I don't think in his 2019 season, I don't think he was playing really any different in 2019 than he did this year. He was just healthy. I mean, you look at some of the things, he still didn't throw deep in 2019, right? He still was the same Jimmy G. They were just lucky on some fronts, and they were healthy. And I mean, he couldn't throw deep in the Super Bowl. He still missed a lot of reads. And if you can get a quarterback that can play equal to Jimmy G, and he's cheaper, I think it'll be about at the 2 pick, I think it'll be around $6 million to start off with, between 6 or 7. That's going to equal another player, and with that player, you should be able to have a roster that can contend for a Super Bowl. And your quarterback is just as good as Jimmy G.
See, that's the thing. I'm not certain that Trey Lance or Justin Fields right now is just as good as Jimmy G. I think those are 2 guys who may struggle as rookies, if not longer.
Right.
Mac Jones, in my opinion, is just as good, if not better, than Jimmy G.
I think, but I also think what this pick says, and I think you touched on a little bit. I forgot in which cast is the Niners with Jimmy G are not going to the Super Bowl this year, so it's kind of a wash anyways. So I mean, I think Mac Jones ready to play. Yeah, the team might play better with Mac Jones than, let's say, a Trey Lance or Justin Fields. But I think really what this move means is the Niners are looking to 22 and 23 and beyond to attack the Super Bowl, not necessarily in 21. They're not going to tell you that, but I think that's what this move signals more than anything. As far as who they should take at 3,
I mean, of the 3 guys who are basically on the table, Fields, Lance, and Jones, who do you like the best?
I think it's too high for all of them.
Okay, fair.
I like Lance, but I think it's too high. I'm not going to take Lance there. I think it's too high for all of them. I wouldn't. I'd just be scared to take them all of them at 3. I guess if Jones is moving that up, maybe I think it seems like he might be the guy, but it could go Fields. Out of those 3, I probably like Lance, but I only like Lance because I could have taken him further back. I could have possibly moved back to maybe 15-ish, maybe, or take him at 12, and I would have been comfortable with that.
Don't you get it? I kind of get the feeling that this year quarterbacks are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. I wouldn't be surprised if the top 5 picks for the first time ever are quarterbacks. It seems like it's trending that way.
It seems like it, especially when you look to the following year when it doesn't look like it looks like it's going to be a very quarterback thin draft, and that probably played into this move. Like, let's make this move now. We'll trade next year's one, because if we were going to go one next year as a quarterback, what's the point? Let's just give it up. So I'm sure that played a role in this.
Victory Street Ministry says it has to be Fields or Lance. Shanny knows all too well how difficult it is to prepare for Russ and Kyler. Do you see Russ and Kyler in either of Fields or Lance?
I don't know. I don't think Kyler is in the same stratosphere as Russ. And Russ is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't see that in either of those guys, but I mean, who knows?
Who knows? All right, let me ask you this. Why did the 49ers make this trade now and not during the draft? Like, they don't really know who's picking number 2 right now. It could be the Jets. It could be another team. And there's a little bit of uncertainty. So why do you think they did it now?
I think some of that started to come out a little bit. I think the Eagles were interested in moving up, and I think the Eagles were in talks. So if the Eagles moved up to 3, the Eagles weren't going to then trade you back their pick that they just moved up for. I think that's why why it really made them move up to the number 3 spot.
So there was competition for it. The Dolphins made sense. The Dolphins made it available, and they were getting offers, and they like, hey, if you want it, you got to do it now.
Yeah, and I think they have to. It has to be one or two things. They have to know that that one of the guys that they like is going to be there at 3. So they have to know that.
Yes.
Otherwise, you don't make this move. So they either with some relation with the Jets that they have an idea where the Jets are going, or they're comfortable with Fields or Wilson or Jones. You're not trading up to like, oh well, let's just hope Zach Wilson is there. No, you've got to have a couple guys, or you have to know what the team at 2 is doing.
So ideally, you'd like to make this trade during the draft, but if you wait and the Dolphins sell now to the Eagles, then what are your options after that?
Right, you're
if you wanted to make the trade, then now you were almost shut out of the top 3, even though you had an opportunity. So I think that's why. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, then let me ask you another question. This dude just keeps giving me money without asking questions. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You can ask a question. You alluded to it before, but let's just talk about this for a couple of minutes. This is a huge move. The Niners get to keep players. They didn't trade Fred Warner. They didn't trade Bosa, Kittle. They only traded 1 pick this year. It's basically they swapped 12 for 3 and traded stuff down the line. Feels like a win now move, but if you're trading up for a quarterback, I mean, no quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl ever. Then again, one of these guys might be better than Jimmy. Does this trade make the Niners Super Bowl contenders this year?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Even if Mac Jones is as good as Jimmy, I don't think it makes him a contender this year. I mean, they might win games and make the playoffs, but I don't know that it'll make them a contender. I think it does make them a contender. It could make them a contender in the following years. And for me, if I'm looking to build a team, I'm not trying to be good. I want to be great at some point. So I think, sacrificing 21 so that you can have a possible shot at the Super Bowl in 22, 23 is the way to go. And I don't think you're really sacrificing that much in 21. I think they'll still be a good team. They'll be relevant. I just don't think they're going to make a run at the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't rule it out, though. I mean, I feel like one of these years a rookie's going to pull it off, because I think they're more and more prepared coming into the league. I'm not sure that Mac Jones is the dude who's super prepared, but they're in a lot of them are in offenses that are NFL style, and they get a lot of reps. And with the rookie wage scale, you can really put a really good team around these guys. So It's not like in 2005 where Jamarcus came out and instantly was the top paid player in the league.
I mean,
I think it might happen.
I was just looking at some of the guys that are going to be available in 22. And when you're just talking about edge rushers, Von Miller is going to be available in 22. Chandler Jones, Whitney Merciless, Jason Pierre-Paul, Jerry Hughes. Like, those are the guys that you're going to have a shot at now that you have a rookie quarterback, because you're going to have and assuming that they get rid of Garoppolo, right?
Right.
And some of the other guys out there. I mean,
now you can afford to keep Nick Bosa eventually.
Right. Hey, you want to fix that guard spot? Brandon Sheriff is on it. I think he's on a franchise tag, right? So he's going to be available. Yep. You can afford that. So, like, that's what this move allows you to do. It's going to let you can spend. You're going to have you're going to have a lot of money. You can spend big next year because you're going to be paying your rookie quarterback nothing.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, if they get the quarterback wrong, it's disastrous. But if they get the quarterback right, there's a possibility that he might even be better than Jimmy now. And the Niners could be improved now. But I think, to your point, this really sets them up well for 2022. Now, in that season, they're going to have a young guy who's been in the offense and could be really good.
Yeah, I think, let me rephrase. He needs to be better than Jimmy, like at least two out of his 4 years of the rookie deal. That's what I think you need him to be. Which I think if you look in this draft, I think there's a couple of quarterbacks that can. I think I've talked about it before. Quarterback is still the most difficult position to play, but it's not as hard as it was in the past. I think there's a couple quarterbacks in this draft that can be successful on NFL teams. I mean, listen, if Kyle can give Jimmy gimmies, why can't he do the same thing with some of these quarterbacks and run an offense with them?
Jets fan here, Darnold or Wilson?
Wilson. Wilson all day.
Steve Young wants Zach Wilson to the 49ers so bad. And then 49ers going after Zach. Beast Rider is calling it, and I believe him. His breakdown is phenomenal. I bet it is. I haven't seen it yet, but that's our next topic. Do you think that this is the first of two moves? That the next move is the Niners trading 3 and their second-round pick to the Jets for number 2 so they can take Zach Wilson? Because they're at Zach Wilson's pro day today. They did not go to Mac Jones' pro day. Or Trey Lance.
Well, a couple things. I don't think it matters. I think don't read too much into the pro days, because there's been plenty of prospects where there was not attendance by the team in the pro day and they go. I mean, when you talk about Mac Jones' pro day, like, Alabama is the most watched, followed team, scouted team in the NFL community. The Niners aren't missing things on Mac Jones. I'm sure they've been. I think they've sent scouts, and did Adam Peters go to?
Yes, of course. They've been scouting him. Yes,
I wouldn't put too much into that. As far as moving up to trade for Zach Wilson, I think it's going to cost more than their second. Typically, when you look at those draft trade value charts, the trades actually end up being more than what's projected. I think it would probably cost them a 2 and a 4, like a 2 and maybe 2 in next year's 3, something like that. They only gave up 1-3 next year, right? From this. Yeah. So, do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. I hope. I'm a Zach Wilson guy, so I hope that would happen, or that Zach Wilson falls. It's hard to. If I'm the Jets, I don't move out of that position for Zach Wilson. I think there's 3 players that are worthy of really being drafted in the top 3. I think the 2 quarterbacks, Lawrence and Wilson, and then Sewell. I don't think the Niners, you wouldn't make this move for Sewell. And with the Jets, I don't see the Jets taking Sewell at 2, because you just drafted a left tackle last year. If you drafted Sewell, one of those guys is going to have to move to right tackle. They're not going to be happy about it, because left tackle is where you make all your money. If you want an example, look at Orlando Brown Jr. this year, who wants to trade from the Ravens because he was playing left tackle because their left tackle got out on injury, and now he played left tackle for them, and he had a taste of it. Now he wants to play left tackle, and so they want him to trade him. Why? Because left tackles make more money. I don't think either of those guys would be happy playing right tackle for the Jets. So I think they got to take the quarterback or trade out of it, and I don't know if they're going to do it.
I'm not sure that they won't, though. I mean, it seems like they just took Sam Darnold, and maybe those two guys got their jobs telling ownership they can salvage Sam Darnold. You never know what those guys said to ownership to get those jobs, you know?
Listen, anything is possible. I wouldn't necessarily rule out that the Jets do something like take Fields. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen in the draft, and I think Kyle and Salah are close, and I think he's close with a couple of those guys on the staff. Would it be possible for Salah to say, "Look, this is what we're doing"?
We like Fields. If you like Wilson, you should move up to 3. You could get him.
Or could he say or he could tell Kyle, "Listen, we're taking Wilson, so I'm just letting you know you want to, this is in the move for you. This is in the work for you. We're taking Wilson." And then now Kyle knows Fields is going to be there or Jones is going to be there.
Or what could happen is Saleh says, look, we're not taking Wilson. We're not taking a quarterback. We want to trade down, but we don't want to go all the way down to 12. So if you can move up closer, we'll trade down with you, but not to 12. And now Kyle can say, all right, well, we're at 3. Do you want us to go down one spot, pick up a number 2 pick, take the guy you would have taken at 2 anyway, Sewell or whoever. And is that possible?
It's possible. The other thing this move does is you can eat a contract. You can move an Eric Armstead because you can now eat that dead money if you have to. So you can before when you look at pieces on the roster and say, oh, we can't move that guy because we'd have to eat this dead cap space. You can move a guy like Eric Armstead because you can eat the space now. You get rid of Jimmy, you're not paying quarterback much, so you can do something like that. So you can include a guy like Armstead in the trade if they wanted him.
Lanil says, if the Niners are in win now mode, why let go of Jimmy and hand the keys to a rookie quarterback? Wouldn't the responsible thing to do be to have Jimmy Garoppolo as the bridge quarterback and try to still contend with him on the roster? Yeah, that leads us to our next question. When will the Niners dump Jimmy Garoppolo? Is he needed for one more year? Do you think he'll be on this team through 2021?
It's funny. It's funny because I thought about this where it kind of makes sense that the Niners were like sniffing around all these veteran quarterbacks right before. I think they've had this idea that they were going to do this for a while. They're right. You talked about Gardner Minshew. They sniffed around Joe Flacco. They tried to get I guess if you want to quantify it, Mitchell Trubisky as a veteran quarterback, but they have been linked to several quarterbacks that have been in the league for a few years, which it didn't really. Some of those moves didn't really make sense, but now they kind of do. And do you really think Jimmy would be a great mentor quarterback? Because no, I don't think so either. I
think Nick Mullins would be a better mentor to a quarterback than Jimmy.
Yeah. I don't think Jimmy is interested in sharing anything and any of that. So I don't know that he really makes sense to keep on the roster. I mean, I don't know that you can get anything from it. If they can get anything from him, I think that's great. Hopefully, if I said a 4, if they can get a 4th round pick back for him, I mean, that'd be great. And get a veteran to come in and mentor the kid. But I think 21 is. I don't want to say it's a wash, but I don't think this is a Super Bowl year. I think it's. This move is for the future. It's not for right now.
So would it be better to get that rookie guy on the field, get him some reps, and get him some game experience so he's ready to go?
I think so. I think maybe you might play another guy for a couple games early in the year, but I think at least after a couple games he'll be on the field.
Yeah. Why do guys like Cowherd and ESPN say it will be Lance at 3? Makes sense because Lance Pro Day is already over. Fields Pro Day is next week. Weird. I don't know.
I don't think Lance at 3. I don't know. I mean, unless
you really have to trade up to get Lance? I don't know.
I don't think you do. I think maybe 8 for if you had to trade up for Lance. 8-ish. But up to 3, it's a little bit steep.
In my opinion, it's going to be difficult for a rookie quarterback to compete in this division. He's going to have to play scary pass rushers and 3 playoff caliber teams. Again, I don't think it's going to be
the compete. Jimmy did. If listen, I said this a couple minutes ago. If Kyle can work an offense around Jimmy G, who has clear issues in certain areas. If Kyle can do that with Jimmy Garoppolo, why can't he do that with a rookie that's going to a bunch of these rookies aren't going to have problems throwing deep. So he's going to have that in the arsenal. A few of them have that mobile component. So he's going to be able to add that into the playbook. Obviously, they're not going to be Tom Brady or they're not going to be Russell. But they should be able to give you some things in your playbook to run an offense. So
I would imagine he feels the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's I think that it's a different game now. And, like I said, quarterback is still the most difficult position to play, but it's not as difficult as it was in the past. So I think it's more likely for a rookie confused to have success than in the past.
Final word on this subject. Do you think they trade him for whatever, a 4th or whatever, like during the draft this year?
Probably.
Okay.
I tweeted this out, but it's possible that Jimmy forces his way out. I mean,
right. Why would he even want to be here? Quietly just say, come on,
right.
Can I please, come on. You don't need me anymore. You're moving on. Let me move on.
It's clear I'm not part of the future. Can you let me move on, please?
Makes sense. Mark is over here saying that Ryan Sakamoto, the Beast Rider, who's been on my channel a bunch of times, you may know him, is saying that Warner plus number 3 pick to the Jets for number 2. That's what the Niners could offer and should offer and might offer. That's a lot. Warner in the number 3 to get up to number 2. That's a lot. Would you do that?
I'm high on Wilson. I just gave up 3 picks. I might. It's tough. I think Warner's a big chess piece, man, because he allows you to do so much in the coverage game, and with how tight ends are being used in the middle of the field is so wide open, and he can. That'd be real tough for me. I don't know.
Because that'd be the 5th asset you're giving up to move up for Zach Wilson. It's now it's 3 firsts, a 3rd, and Fred Warner for Zach Wilson. That'd be a lot for Deshaun Watson.
The only thing that would make me feel better about it is obviously I'd be getting the quarterback that I wanted, and I'm Wilson. I think he's going to be a superstar. Is that the Niners have been able to find linebackers? They might not be able to find Fred Warner, but can they find someone, another Dre Greenlaw? Now, would you, if you had your franchise quarterback and 2 Dre Greenlaws, would that work? Is that good enough to get you Super Bowl? I think so. So I probably would cave and do it.
See, I mean, I could see if the Niners are in love with Zach Wilson, a middle linebacker isn't going to stand between them and getting him.
Yeah, that's agreed.
You could say it's too much, but if they have their heart set on Zach Wilson and that's the price, they're going to say, Fred, we love you. And this is a testament to how much we love you, that you are the valuable piece that gets it done. Don't take it personally.
You know what I probably would do, Grant, is I probably would want the number 2 pick, give you Warner and
something back. Get something back.
I would need something back.
Yeah. That's fair. And maybe that'll happen. Hester says Jones wouldn't surprise me. I know I would sell myself on the idea and he is a system fit, but part of me is like, why give up so much for a late 1st round prospect? As I said, I wouldn't be surprised if quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this year. It's a weird year.
I don't think he's a late round prospect. I don't like him necessarily. I don't like him necessarily at 3, but I'm going to tell you now, he's not a late round prospect. I think he's moved himself up into the top 10, certainly top 15. I think he's a late round prospect. I do think he can. There's a good probability he could play as well as Jimmy G.
If Kyle Shanahan looks at Mac Jones and says, that's a young Matt Ryan, and I would know because I coached middle-aged Matt Ryan, And that is Matt Ryan. And I could have the same kind of offense I had in Atlanta with Mac Jones. If that's how he feels, then Matt Ryan was the number 3 pick in the draft, and he's worth it. I'm not sure that he's necessarily the next Matt Ryan, but if that's what Kyle feels, then you could justify taking him with number 3. All he would have to say at the press conference is, "Dude, this dude is Matt Ryan. I don't care."
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I got another question for you. We're going to move off quarterbacks. 2 more. Now that it looks almost certain that the number's going to be taking a quarterback in round 1, let's assume they keep their round 2 pick. What do you think they do with that?
I think they need to address it has to be the best corner or best edge rusher available, which will probably be the best player available, to be honest with you. I think this is a better edge class than people are giving it credit for.
Okay.
The reason why I say edge is I think Salah talked before about how D Ford unlocked the defense, and I don't think it's necessarily D Ford, but I think it's D Ford and Nick Bosa. Now do two edge rush combo, and I'm not going to put that on Samson. How do you say Ebukam? Is that how you say his name?
Ebukam.
I don't think you can expect him to be D Ford, and so I think you need another guy, and I don't think you can expect any of the other guys to be D Ford, and I don't think you can expect D Ford to play either. So I think they need another edge guy. And
Ebukam's not like D Ford. D Ford's like an instant win kind of guy. When he wins, it's fast. Ebukam is like motor, effort, relentlessness, second effort, third effort, not quick speed rush.
And he wasn't a full-time defensive end last year. He only really did in bits and pieces. So it's gonna take some time for him to learn. So I think they need an edge, and I still think they need a corner. You can never have too many edges. You can never have too many corners on a defense. I think they need to fill up those 2 spots. So I would say the best available of those spots. So at 2 and 3, I would do that, and maybe possibly safety. I think it's a really good safety class, and they just re-signed Tart to a $1.1 million deal, which I think it's a bargain, and they are going to have to replenish that safety position.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a wide receiver, though. They've done it 3 years in a row at that spot. They take 2 a year. I think they've taken two a year, 3 years in a row. Kyle can't help himself. They don't have any money tied up in that position. I mean, who's the highest paid wide receiver on the roster? Debo? Ayuk? Probably Ayuk. So they could do another one. They don't have a number 3 receiver that they love, and they know they can't really depend on Debo. So I wouldn't rule it out. Not that it's necessarily the way to go.
Yeah, I
know. It seems irresponsible.
Can't you get? I think you can get Trevon Grimes, who I think looks really good on tape in round.
You talking Florida
or 6? Yeah,
he's good.
There's so many good wide receivers. Why? And do we forget it? We forget about Richie James. Richie James is good.
I like Richie James.
Anytime he gets a chance, he's been excellent. So, I mean, I know that there's been people out there that tweet, "Oh, we need another receiver." I don't think you do, but
the last one was what do you think they should do in round 3? You already touched on it. I mean, you could say it real quick. So you say if they don't do edge rusher, then corner and basically those 2.
Yeah, corner, edge. I think they need to touch on those positions. Yeah. Remember, guys, Verrett only locked up for another year. With Mosley's 2, K1 is, I think he was a 1-year deal. So they're only pushing it back another year, and they need to get younger at that position, younger and need some size there, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I would agree that the Niners. I'm thinking round 3 for a cornerback. I don't know why I feel like they're gonna do something irresponsible and take a wide receiver in round 2. It's just, I guess, precedent, history, patterns. I don't know.
Hey, maybe they moved up to 3 to take a defensive lineman.
Solomon Thomas, does he have a little brother? And then I don't know. Richard Rainwater says number 3 in Warner for number 2 and number 23. You said you wanted something back. They also have the number 23 pick. That'd be nice. That would work.
That would work. I would feel
that's a fair trade, actually.
Yeah,
I think it's a fair trade. Good stuff, Richard Rainwater. Good name, Richard Rainwater.
I would wonder what the Jets would then do with CJ Mosley, right? Because that was their big free agent acquisition the year before.
Yes.
So and they're paying him a lot of money.
That's the thing. Do they really want another high-priced inside linebacker? Because they would have the 2 highest paid inside linebacker, or 2 of the 3 highest paid inside linebackers in the league.
Maybe it's something like he would be part of the trade. They would give you Mosley. You'd have to take on the contract of Mosley, take that back.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. They might do it. Ronald Murphy says, who has been good out of BYU since Steve Young, since the school matters? No one?
Yeah, no.
Ty Detmer, John Beck. John Beck played for Kyle Shanahan in Washington and is the tutor mentor for Zach Wilson now.
Ty Detmer had an NFL career, obviously.
He did.
He had an NFL career.
Monster numbers at BYU. Monster numbers at BYU. And the thing that all these guys since Steve Young have had in common is they're kind of small.
Yeah.
Little small.
I think like you can't.
This guy's way better than those guys, but he's also a little small. I think it's fair. But again, Ohio State, Justin Fields, same issue. Alabama, Mac Jones, same issue. I mean, Trey Lance, only thing they can point to is Carson Wentz, who hasn't exactly – he's got a lot to prove.
When you're scouting when you're scouting the school I think you have to look at some of the things. Like when you're saying all these things about Ohio State, it's because Ohio State has been in the same offense since Urban Meyer was there.
Right.
So you're scouting players in that offense at that school with really good receivers.
And you're critiquing that program's ability to develop certain positions. It's not that's the player's fault, but it's the program's fault, I would say.
Right. I don't necessarily like when you're talking about, for instance, BYU. So you're talking about 20, 30 years ago. BYU is not the same.
Right. They've had different,
from 30 years ago. So it's unfair.
Different coaches, different schemes.
Right. I mean, even Ohio State is different than they were, 30 years ago.
Yes, of course. Now they're spread up tempo run game, which they were not 30 years ago. No.
Yeah. So I think scouting the school is only relative sometimes.
Yeah, agree. Would have been nice to see Zach Wilson at the Senior Bowl, but wasn't a senior. I do think the fact that Mac Jones was at the Senior Bowl, the Niners might like, because seems like they've placed a lot of emphasis on Senior Bowl performance the last 2 years in particular, since they whiffed on Dante Pettis. And
they have.
I
mean, you're
going
to
see. You're going to whiff one way or another. Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna, as long as they hit on the pick. Listen, they obviously have the cojones right now to make that move, and I like it because I think that just rolling Jimmy G out this year, you're not really doing anything to attack the Super Bowl, because I don't think it's good enough, not at that number. So they're making a move to build they're telling you they want to go to the Super Bowl. They're not just they don't want to win games. Which I think is exciting
definitely exciting. I mean, are the Niners going to sign Andy Dalton? Are they going to trade for Sam Darnold? Wait, maybe they'll trade for Gardner Minshew. It's just like really hilarious to look back on. Like,
I don't know if you saw it, but the Bears got killed this week because they posted a tweet, Andy Dalton, and they posted QB1, and their whole fan base just destroyed them.
What were they expecting? It was almost like a parody tweet, like something the Onion would put out.
Yeah, it's like if the Niners got rid of Jimmy and then traded for Gardner Minshew and then put QB1, like.
All right, so what we're gonna have to do next week is either look at some day 2 corners, day 2 edge rushers, or some Zach Wilson tape, because me and you don't see Zach Wilson the same way. Maybe we should look at it, watch him together, and maybe I can make you a little more pessimistic, or you can make me a little more optimistic about him. We'll see.
But yeah, we could do that. A little love hate on Zach Wilson.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
All right,
we'll be back next time, same time next week, man. Thanks a lot for coming on and talking about something that we weren't that prepared about. Appreciate it.
All right. Enjoy your Friday, everybody.
You too.